Hey everybody, welcome to Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
This is the comic book review show where we take books from the past week, recap, review them, let you know what we thought about them, and then give you recommendations for comics that are coming out this week we think you should pick up. This week we got a jam-packed full session of books that were very, very popular that a lot of people want to hear our opinions about. Maybe a lot. I hope so. Be nice. So, yeah. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Right? First up on our list, I guess.
Where do you want to start?
I'm going to start with Deceased.
Okay. Yeah, why not?
Because it's cool.
It is cool.
Who'd have thought that? I guess a lot of people. Not me.
Not you.
No, I was like, oh, zombie book. And, like, it keeps saying, like, in fact, this book was like, no, it's not. And I'm like, all right, you got me. It's not. Fine. Deceased.
Yes.
Number 4.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're already number 4.
I know.
From Tom Taylor. This is just continuing the story. It's just your fun, basic, apocalyptic, oh no, everybody that, like, could solve the problem is dead. Everybody who will solve the problem is alive. Anti-life equation, zombie, apocalypse situation, what's going on in this story. It's super simple, just like they're doing damage control. Captain Atom would be kind of like the solution. Of course, he isn't, because like he can't be in a Superman world.
Right, at least for the government.
Yeah.
The government's like, yeah, this will fix it.
Nuke everybody.
We're going to do Protocol C or whatever they're on.
Because Protocol B is to have Ray Palmer get inside someone who is deceased and then have them check him out. Unfortunately, that experience caused him to become a zombie or whatever.
Right.
Anti-lifer.
Yeah.
And so he infected Captain Atom and causes Captain Atom to explode. But before he does, Superman and the new Green Lantern take him up into the
Superman and Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman, that's right. Superman and Wonder Woman go up into the sky and try to get rid of him, seemingly are vaporized as well in the process.
It definitely looks like she's like cut in two.
Yeah. No, she's dead.
Okay.
Like, we're
And,
all all like the big...
So was like everybody.
Yeah, at the end of it, you see... and
Or
there's
not,
there's this
depending.
whole hammer-nail analogy, and then it says the hammer falls in the last line of the book. It's pretty cool. I'm still down. We're at like halfway, I think, through the end of the series, and I'm gotta say, like, we could literally kill everyone.
Yeah, I mean...
And then go like, okay, here's the real guys.
You do have the flashes.
Yeah.
And they do mention needing time. So,
Plus, we just set up this whole thing with Alfred and Damian, and...
But that, like... I hope that's not, like, what the final solution is.
Oh,
or
time
like,
travel?
I mean, I'm sure it will be, but I'm hoping it's not the final focus. Like, I liked having this, like, ragtag group of heroes who didn't do anything. They didn't get a chance to do anything. And, I mean, I get it, but that could happen in an apocalyptic, like, scenario.
Sure.
But it's just like, yeah, right, time travel fixes everything. Why do we even bother about talking about anything else?
Yeah.
We have time travel.
I think they're setting up the time travel thing because that's everyone's solution to a problem, particularly the audience.
Yeah.
And so they're setting it up so they can kill all the Flashes.
You think?
Oh, absolutely. Because they're not... Okay, the reason why you do this in continuity is because you have Flashes who can go back in time and undo it. The reason you don't have that happen in an out-of-continuity story is because you can have stakes and you can have these characters die. So, like, if you undo it in the Deceased universe, it's like, well, who cares? Like, okay, so Superman doesn't have a dad, he doesn't have a dad in the other super universe anyway, like, so whatever. Like, Batman's dead, oh, okay, I can throw a rock and hit, like, 2 universes
Right, but
at
it's
least.
still sad. Like...
It is sad. It would be sad, and it would be, like, a changed, world, but I don't think that the Flashes are going to go back in time and undo it. I think they're going to set up that and then kill them.
Okay. That's fair. I guess I was wondering, like, in terms of the fact that you've got Black Canary's there with them. She's a Green Lantern. Can a Green Lantern's ring energy withstand a nuclear blast?
Totally.
Like, if she throws up a dome, if she thought to do it, as they're just standing there staring at it?
Right? Yeah.
I guess it depends on who's writing it.
Exactly. I mean, like, it should. It's a magic ring that, is an extension of your willpower. Absolutely.
Yeah.
By the way, so... Any other thoughts you want to make about Deceased number 4?
No. I thought it was really, it was very sweet. It was interesting though, like when the final image of like, or not a final image, but like the image of them like standing there watching the blast coming for them. They didn't put Alfred in there.
No.
It's Lois who's like holding on to both the boys.
Right.
Which I thought was sweet, but at the same time I was like,
yeah. I would like to think maybe like Alfred is like so Batman, he's already got a contingency, he's gone. It's like, nope.
No,
Goodbye.
no, because he gave Damian the costume.
That's
Damian's
right.
the Batman now.
Yeah, I know.
Which was really like kind of heartbreaking for Damian, which I don't typically think
Care about? Yeah.
No, I'm not. I was gonna say think of him in that way when he sees the Batwing come in, and he's like,
Yeah, he's like, oh man, he made it somehow.
yeah,
like,
of
no,
course
it's
he did. He's
Alfred.
my dad. It's
Right.
like, yeah, and that like really long, tall, vertical image of like Alfred hugging Damian.
Oh, yeah.
That was like really beautiful.
No, the art is really, really good in this series.
Yeah, you actually get it for both of them. Like you get it for Superman with Lois and Ma,
Yes.
and Superboy is there as well. Just these like really like stark background images or like moments for them.
Yeah.
And then you get it with Alfred and Damian, and it's nice to see like Damian as a child.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's nice to see them like remember that Damien is only like 13 or whatever.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's just a good series overall.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like zombies, Jesus. But at the same time, like, they're not. It kind
Zombie
of
Jesus.
is. It's fine. Futurama. But yeah, it's cool. I recommend it. I think it's
Okay.
dope. I think check it out.
Nice.
If not, wait for the trade.
Okay.
If you're like looking to save money, certainly.
Right,
but like
right.
this is a good enough series to check it out.
there you go.
And it's like keeping me entertained, like however long it comes out,
Right,
each
right.
time.
Okay.
Before we get into the next book, I want to say that, like, by the way, this show is supported through a number of venues, and this episode is sponsored by a show called Harbor Patrol, which is a DC Adventures RPG show showcasing some talents from ComicPOP, myself included, Tiffany, you as well, Ben as well, and newcomer to the fold, Peter from ZoozleandtheFox.com. Super helpful for him to jump in and be Batu, a fan favorite now.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar, you don't know what the hell we're talking about, go to this channel, subscribe to it first of all, click the bell for notifications so that you can find the second episode of Harbor Patrol coming out tomorrow on Tuesday. But yeah, so just wanted to mention that is a show that we make. It's a really good show. Hope you enjoy it.
Right.
And if you're looking for RPG kind of like stuff like Critical Role or Acquisitions Incorporated, this is going to be the thing for you because it's superheroes, it's RPGs, and it's the talent you come to expect from here at ComicPOP.
That's right.
Also, the show is supported by a number of methods, one of which is Super Chats. If you have a question, comment, you have a thing you want to bring up, feel free to use your Super Chats here in this conversation, and we'll make sure to weave it organically into the show so we can like pull you in while also keeping these lights on. So that's it. I just wanted to transition from there to the next book.
Nice.
Tiffany, what do you got to recommend?
I'm actually going to talk about a book that like people were disappointed that I missed it.
Yes!
Sorry.
Yeah, well, it wasn't your fault.
No.
You missed
no.
that book. It's because Comixology's interface is so horrible.
I just struggle. I struggle with it. The struggle is real for me, and I don't know why, but it is. Literally all I need is a little thing where it just goes, would you like to follow this series? And maybe not purchase it automatically? Yes,
Right.
I would like that.
Yeah.
That would be pretty sweet. But 2 weeks ago, Justice League Dark's first annual came out. Good for them. They did it. They've made it to an annual. Isn't that lovely? It's really heavily focused on Swamp Thing, almost as though
They were trying to tie it in with a show that was like unceremoniously murdered before it came out. Yeah.
I don't know if that's necessarily true at all. I just think it's ironically timed.
Yeah,
It's
like
just,
the show ends and then they're like, "Hey, if you like Swamp Thing," it's like, well,
damn it. No, they've been kind of doing this lately, where like they're kind of like focusing on some of the characters that people may not know if they're not haven't read some of the older DC or Vertigo runs for them. But like the entire annual is pretty much dedicated to Swamp Thing and the fact that Magic is rewriting itself right now. When Wonder Woman used like the fancy ruby to fix everything, it like fixed everything and it's healing itself, but it's like doing things wrong in a way. So like Zatanna's like, we need to fix this, and Constantine's like, hey, I'm here to help out with all that crap. By the way, Swamp Thing, you should probably go like take care of this other thing that's going on because of course the green is gone.
Yeah.
Parliament of Trees has been destroyed.
Oh no.
And so like Swamp Thing's like the guardian of Jack and shit, basically.
Right.
And the Parliament of Flowers has cropped up, and that's like new hotness over there. And the Parliament of Flowers is choosing its new guardian.
Is it going to be the Floronic Man?
No, the Floronic Man is in this though.
Oh, cool.
Again.
Swamp Thing show on DC Universe. Check it out. It's a great little like aborted series.
Yeah. But anyway, so Swamp Thing does go out there. It is a tragic story, just like every time you deal with the Parliament of anything. Apparently. Yeah. It's a dude. He and his wife live in Maine. He was a scientist studying flowers. And they had a son. The son was diagnosed with a tumor of some sort. The son died. The two of them live in like the silence of their home, knowing that each other like is the agony that they are experiencing, right? Inevitably, like they fight. She leaves, and then he wakes up and he's the guardian of the flowers, like the flower thing.
Okay.
Flower thing.
Parliament of Flowers.
Well, I was like, it's Swamp Thing.
Oh, right,
So,
he's Flower Thing.
Flower,
right.
Full petal king. I think they do call him something like the King of Petals or the King of Flowers or something to the effect of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it's all right. We're getting away from the thing then.
Yeah.
His name is Oleander. That's his real name.
Okay.
Which is also a flower. It's like, first thing, if you live in the DC universe,
And you are named after a thing that exists, watch out.
some sort of animal, or if the word blood is
Well,
in
animal,
your
mineral,
name,
vegetable.
or yeah, exactly, you are in trouble. You want a plain name if you live there. Anyway, he basically remembers like burning alive and then waking up and he sees this creature, and then Swamp Thing shows up. He's like, hey, yeah, so
He's like, Abby.
he's trying to explain to him a little bit of just like the know-how that he has. He's just like, I was once where you were. You're not who you think you are. Like, your body
You're
is
dead. Yeah.
And you're something else, and you have to be better than that. You need to be something better than all that.
Yeah.
And he's just like, no, I am who I am. I have like my memories and all that stuff. And he's like, yeah, no, I
Right, no. I've been there before.
Just
Haven't you ever read the anatomy lesson?
Here, read this. It's
Mm-hmm.
by Alan Moore. So then he goes to check on his wife, a la Spawn, because he's like, why didn't she come for me? Why didn't she check in on me?
Is he
And-
5 years in the future or something?
No, it's not that far into the future.
Okay.
But she's at like a friend's house, and it's like, it literally is a friend from childhood. There's no like screwing around here
Mm-hmm.
or anything. No, she's at his house.
Yeah, I assume.
Yeah, she's at her own house, I think.
Okay.
And maybe not. I'm not sure about that. She's someplace, there's a dude there, but there's no like screwing around.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy suggests that they take a trip with all their like old friends. Like,
Okay.
and that might help to cheer her up.
Why not?
Because it's like, you know.
Yeah, it's like pre
everything's-
that life,
Yeah,
so.
everything's screwed. So like maybe you'll feel better. You know what I mean? Like, so like he feels hurt by this, and he's like, I need to get her to stay. How can I get her to stay? And that's when he runs into the Floronic Man, who's just like, oh hey man, what's up? No, I'm here to help you. My name's Jason Woodrue, and like blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, do you know that Swamp Thing guy? And he's like, yeah, kinda. Anyway.
Right.
So then basically, Oleander ends up making a bunch of children. One that looks like out of petals, one that looks like their son, but it calls himself Joshua.
Oh.
And so like she stays in the house to care for Joshua, and then he just keeps sending children. Mm-hmm. And like Swamp Thing's like, okay.
Okay, well, you're really overdoing it, man.
All right. You haven't listened to anything I said. So he goes to talk to him. First he goes to read his journal, which we've kind of been reading as we've been going along about his studies and other such things. He's like, you need to read this. You have to read this. You have to read this. And like, Woodrew's like, no, I'm gonna keep you from it. So like, they kind of fight a little bit. He's like, you know, I used to be a guardian of the green as well. So
Right.
like, now we're kind of on par in power here. So let's fight. So they do fight a little bit. He seemingly like he kills Swamp Thing, like, you know, where, like,
That body.
Yeah. But he does get his message over to Oleander, which is basically he's reading his like last journal entry, which was that like he decided to like study the like effects of like basically like plant memories
Okay.
and like mistreating them, and that with like flowers that like it doesn't seem to matter. They always like, even if you like treat them really badly,
They
they'll
always
still
come-
bloom.
yeah.
But like at the end of the day, the reason that like we like enjoy them is because we know they're going to die.
Uh-huh.
And so like he like mistreats the hell out of these flowers, and he's gonna pour all these chemicals on them, and then like he's going to lay in them and let himself go into them, basically like melt down into it because of the chemicals. So the fire he felt was a chemical burn, which is why Swamp Thing can't find his body because it literally melted. And then he realizes that, oh my god, those like flower children that I made, all they want to do is die, and all they remember is my death.
Okay.
And so he like runs to like check. Or no, he doesn't even go. I don't even know if he necessarily sees it. But like his wife like follows the children out into the woods because like one of them tried to like jump off the balcony because like it's like, I'm a flower. It's time for me to die.
yeah.
And so she finds him in the woods, and like they're all like coming apart, and like petals are everywhere, and it's a horror show, and so like her life's over basically.
Right.
She's ruined.
Yeah, nice
as
job, buddy.
As a human. So then like Swamp Thing is now like his body is deceased there. So it's just the king of whatever and the Floronic Man, and so they chat for a little bit, and he's he's like, I need to rest. I think I just need to lay down. I need to understand this. Like, I get what Swamp Thing was saying. I just need a minute. And he's like, no, go ahead, just lay down.
Yeah, go die.
Just relax. So he like lays down to relax, and then like the Floronic Man eats him.
Yeah.
And so he can he takes his power. Swamp Thing picks up the chick.
Okay.
He like reforms himself and like saves her. Like where Constantine's there, like,
Hey, I'm in the book too.
Hey, don't forget about me. T?
Yeah.
Mate.
And ST's like, no thanks.
He's like, it'll make you feel better.
It's made from leaves.
Right. So now basically the Floronic Man now has the power of the Parliament of Flowers behind him.
Okay.
By consuming this dude. And so then Cersei comes for him and is just like, hey, you want to join up?
Oh, to be like
Because you're part of my justice, my legion of
Dark?
doom, dark doom. So yeah.
Cool.
It was a good book, I guess. I mean, a lot of people like really love this, and like I thought it was fine.
Yeah, maybe if you were like desperate for more Swamp Thing, like
I don't know if it was that. I think it was just like that guy was there just to get us to that ending, and I think that's what's unfortunate
That's too
about
bad,
it.
because that's a character.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure that character may be used.
It'll probably
down
be
the road.
It'll probably be Woodrew's Achilles heel, like a blast
Sure,
out of him or
sure.
something.
But yeah, like literally just created him just to
die.
get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Like we need a guardian, and we can't just immediately
Make it him.
Can't make it the Floronic Man. We'll get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool kind of setup.
Okay.
To some degree.
Yeah, there you go. Back in the super chats,
Ooh.
we got a number of people
Whoa.
who helped us out, including Cash Money in the Bank, who says Harbor Hype. Digging the show.
Harbor
Thank you very much. Eddie Eckenberg. So I can't stay for the entire show. Time zones plus work. Just want to say I love Comic Pop. Also, Absolute Carnage was awesome. I agree with you. And thank you very much for helping us out. I'm sorry you can't stick around. Hopefully you'll watch the post-broadcast.
We'll be here.
Mr. Supertastic, at the end of the issue of Deceased, I thought how grim it would be if John is the only one to survive on the roof because of his invulnerability. That'd be kind of neat. And dark, but also really dope. I'd be okay with that too. Because there's no stake. Like, there are no stakes, but there's all stakes, so it's like, I don't care. Like, it's like, yeah, knock yourself out. Adam Osmo says he's first. He's not, but thank you very much for anyway. And Mr. Supertastic says, Ben talking to a fish enthusiast mailman was fun. I'm glad you enjoyed that conversation. Yeah, that and more are what awaits you in Harbor Patrol.
That's right. Ha ha ha.
So Absolute Carnage, speaking of, it's a book that came out. Yeah, it's huge. Friggin' Donny Cates, Ryan Stegman, the Carnage event of the century is here.
Yeah.
60 pages, multiple chapters. Carnage has a plan. He's gonna absorb all the symbiotes and symbiote-adjacent pieces that were left over in people who were symbiotes in order to become a god.
See, now, I thought it was that initially, and then it seemed like it was very focused on just Carnage symbiotes, like those who had held the Carnage.
Yeah, but I had
like,
heard the pitch that it was actually...
Well, that's at the beginning of the book, they act like it's that, and so then when certain characters show up, I'm like, totally makes sense. I mean, obviously, Spider-Man's going to be involved with it. It's symbiotes. But, like, I thought that he was definitely going to be involved with this because of his time with the costume or with Venom. But by the end of it, it seemed like it was less about all of them and more about just one of them. Although I understand that the other children are going to be here at some point.
Yeah, like Lasher and Scream and whatnot.
And Riot.
And Riot.
Phage.
Dope. This book it's like one-dimensional, but like cool. It felt like
For 60 pages, it read really fast.
Yes.
So I was like, when we were talking about this, like I wasn't sure if I was going to read it or if I wasn't going to have time. And I saw it was 60 pages. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I was like, almost done. And I hit the chapter 3 thing and I was like, say what now?
Yeah, what? Yeah, these are like chapters in a like in a J.K. Rowling or a James Patterson novel where it's like every third page there's a new chapter. So it makes you like want to read more.
Yeah.
I mean, like really quick, what happens in this book is Venom and Eddie are reunited. They become the symbiote. Venom still hasn't told his son that he's his father, but they're still together. They decide to team up with Spider-Man. They're gonna go stop Carnage from absorbing the piece that's in Norman Osborn.
Yeah.
And then the book ends. Like
yeah.
And there are a lot of fun character interactions and action sequences that take place in between what I just said.
Yes. Like, I love the Venom symbiote running around in, like, a trench coat and hat.
Yes. Yeah, it's fun. There's a lot of really cool, like, images. There's a lot of fun images of, like, the symbiote kind of, like, Stegman taking liberties with the symbiote, making him like silly or fun or not being afraid
sad.
to like show the emotion on like a 2-dimensional costume.
Right, because it's also like, well, I mean, like, is he always screaming with his tongue out?
Right, he shouldn't be, although for a good whole decade in the 90s he was.
Right, so it's kind of like, hey, he can do other things. He can put that away.
Exactly.
It's okay.
But yeah, I mean, like overall, like really, like the story is not like the deepest, most like penetratingly insightful thing that Donny Cates has ever written. Like really anyone could have written this, but the fact that Cates wrote it, like I think allows it to be superficial without being shallow and dumb, if that makes any sense.
I guess, I mean, I think there's definitely one plot thread that, if explored appropriately, could lend a lot of depth to it, and that's, like, the whole father-son.
Yeah, but it'll probably be really cliche instead.
It could, but we'll see. I don't know. Like, I'm just saying, like, if explored correctly, that could lend itself.
I agree. I will say it is a cool read, and I really enjoyed just this like popcorn action flick.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Stegman's art is like this is the holdout for me. That's the amazing part of the book. It's like how like beautifully well paired the inker, colorist, and writer and artist are on a book that like doesn't really need to look this good but does.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It doesn't look like a friggin'... Like...
No, it looks really good, though. It's funny, like, I saw on Reddit that someone took the panel of Spider-Man and, I think it's Norman at the end.
Yes.
Where it's like almost like an evil Norman Rockwellian painting, like of him just leaning over him.
Yeah,
and I was like, I guess there's something to that.
Yeah.
For me, what I felt was interesting was that Stegman, at times when he's drawing Spider-Man as Spider-Man, there's like these like weird shades of McFarlane.
Yes, absolutely.
In it, where I was just like,
and I think he's doing it on purpose.
What? Like especially in the way he constructs the fingers at times, and like the face, because like, like I always like associate, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you're way more familiar with McFarlane's Spider-Man, but like the roundness with the angular parts of like the cheek and brow area there, which I definitely saw in this.
Oh no, this is like a perfect marriage of like modern sensibilities plus like McFarlane's fantastic for the Spider-Man design,
right?
If not the Venom design as well.
Yeah.
I also got shades of McFarlane in the Venom design too, because Venom is more like reserved. Venom is just like a big muscular Spider-Man with a mouth, and it's like it's terrifying enough that he has a mouth. We don't need it to be like a Violator jaw with like green goop coming out of it, although that happens too. When they're reformed in the beginning of the book, it's much more not subtle, but it's reserved. It like takes its time. It's like you're gonna see all the Venom stuff, but let's just do this thing that kind of like harkens back to a simpler time when Venom was just like a beefy looking Spider-Man character.
Yeah.
And like it works, and I liked it a lot, and I think hopefully it is intentional to try and like make you remember like Venom's origins a little bit.
Right.
Even though this isn't a Carnage book, but I think hopefully, this is a Carnage book in terms of the way the Carnage Jerry Conway series was.
Yeah, well, it's like it's difficult because it's like it's hard to make it it's hard to sell a book to people where it's just like, this is a book about a villain who has to be stopped.
Yes.
If it's meant to take place within any sort of continuity, and we're supposed to continue on from there.
Yeah.
Calling it Carnage, obviously, it's a good decision. You know what I mean? Like, just calling it Carnage allows for so much like intercompany crossover.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Certain characters are going to have to show up in this. The fact that they made a body or a nest of bodies in northern New Jersey. By the way, note that the northern New Jersey area there's a lot of trees.
Yeah.
Because there are.
Because there was a lot of woods here. So.
But I was like, hey, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for remembering.
Ryan.
Right?
I appreciate that, even if there
Donnie.
is...
Oh no, Ryan drew them. Yeah. Yeah, Ryan maybe he like did a quick look.
Yeah, like thank you. You put in a nest of bodies, but hey, whatever. And the Maker's here.
Yeah, and the Maker.
Which I was like, oh.
And we're gonna do that thing where like Spider-Man's a dumbass, and he meets the Maker and he doesn't know who he is. Like Reed would have never told everybody about who the Maker is. But that being said, the Maker's interaction with them is fun, and it's a good use of the character.
I could legit seeing Reed being like, I'm not telling Peter.
Yeah, I'm not telling anybody. But like it makes sense, and he's shown up in this series before, and it makes sense for him to be there. So
yeah,
it's just we're pulling out all the stops.
Yeah, absolutely. I just enjoyed it. The fact for me that like I have a cursory knowledge of Venom, even less knowledge of Carnage, other than his interactions with Spider-Man and Venom at times.
Yeah.
So, like, the first few pages of this were a little rough for me because they're making all these references to the series that came before.
Yeah, which is
and I was like, ooh, okay, I hope it doesn't, like... I mean, I hope for those who are invested in those series it does continue, because for them there is a payoff to it.
Yeah.
But for me coming into it where I was, like, being like, I'm not going to research this prior to it. I want to get that experience to see how it would feel, where I just someone who wanted to understand what this whole absolute Carnage thing was.
Yeah.
By the end of it, I kind of really started putting two and two together.
Right.
So I feel like it is penetrable.
Yeah.
But I think that it will remain to be seen how well it will play for those who are less familiar.
Yeah,
by
absolutely.
the end of this.
No, I agree.
The whole Norman Osborn thing, I appreciate them making sure they made us aware that he had the Carnage symbiote at one point, and like explain the whole Red Goblin thing. And I was like, got it, all right.
Right.
Any minute now, that symbiote Goblin War, it's coming.
I know. Yeah. What is she talking about? Watch the Saga of the Alien Costume on Back Issues, another show from this great channel. But yeah, overall, I recommend it.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's cool. The ending was like, it kind of just stops, and I was like, like, there were a lot of moments that were bigger and more like, whoa. That being said, it had to stop someplace in order for the book not to be $25. So I was like, okay, yeah, like, it's cool. It's just overall cool.
Yeah.
I don't see where it's going, and I don't know how they're going to get out of it, but that's part of the fun, and I know these people can handle it.
Right. And there's something to be said about that personality trait of Carnage, where it's just like, you don't know what to expect.
Right.
And I think that can help at times.
I will say, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I really like the fact that, like, when Cletus absorbs Carnage or takes him over, he makes him look like comic book Carnage. Like, he looks like classic Carnage.
Yeah.
Carnage looks like,
when he absorbs Norman?
When he absorbs Norman, I should say, yeah.
Well, because who thinks he's Cletus?
Yeah, who thinks he's Cletus, thank you.
So I was like...
Yeah, but he looks like your Carnage, like my Carnage, and I'm like, that's fun. What is, like, good?
Yeah,
you're gonna see a lot of callbacks and a lot of references, while it's still being like, if you're a new Venom fan, like, you're still gonna dig this book.
I'm gonna call it now. If you ever do this book with Ben and Ethan, Ethan's going to say that some bit of him
imprinted onto it. Yeah. No doubt.
Because that's literally like
that's all that happens.
Memory, like
imprinted
onto Norman's mind.
Yeah,
it's like, is that how that works?
Right? Apparently. But I dug it.
Yeah.
So check it out if you haven't already, which I'm sure you did. I had no doubt. I remember they were talking about the hype of it for this book. They're like, this is going to outsell, like, blah, blah. I'm like, nope. It's not. And I don't think it did. But it sold pretty good.
No, I mean, good for, like, again, like, it's just, we have, like, this, we get two kind of larger things coming out of Marvel right now, and I think that there's room for both of them, because they have both very different feels.
Exactly.
So...
Yeah, Saddle Thani helping us out in a big bad way.
Thank you.
Welcome, Matt. Welcome back to the show, man. He says, hey, did I miss the House of X part of the chat? No, we're going to wrap up with that. But yeah, thank you very much for your support.
Yeah, thank you.
Huge friend of the show. We do appreciate it, but don't worry. Settle in. We're going to talk about that. Binks Force says, sorry I can't join the stream, but here's a donation. Thank you very much, Binks Force. Kingsport Cole says, love ComicPOP. I'm watching since TV Little House. What is that? That's what we used to call ourselves when I was dumb and didn't know marketing. But thank you very much for watching since then. We do appreciate it. Hopefully we've been doing you proud. I want to, remember our roots, but also, move into the future. Silver Cricket, do you think Anti-Venom will play any role at all? Yes. Yeah, I think they'll probably, exhume Flash's body or something.
Can we also just talk really quickly about the fact that we did that Carnage book, and then John Jameson shows up and he's a werewolf again? And I was like, hey,
we did that. Yeah, exactly.
I was like, hey, I'm aware of this.
Yeah. What are we talking about? We did the Jerry Conway Carnage series on our other show, Back Issues. Check it out.
Yeah, where I learned that he is the Sailor Moon of the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, John Jameson, Moon Wolf.
Yeah.
Man Wolf, but yeah. Mr. Supertastic says, a lot of great images in Carnage. I want a poster of that image with everyone that had the symbiote. Peter didn't know the maker, apparently.
Yeah, I guess not, or at least according to Cates, he didn't.
Yeah, and Cates doesn't care about continuity like Bendis, but at least he doesn't do a major event that destroys everything.
You could say one of two things. You could say that he is just that was just a whoops, or that's a Peter's playing some sort of other game where he's pretending he doesn't know the maker.
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably not.
I doubt it. King's Portico says, I found a case of old 94 Fleer Ultra comic cards. Well, then you are sitting on a gold mine, my friend, in terms of quality and fun. Those are great cards, but they're not worth much. No cards are anymore, but they're still dope. I was an avid collector of those cards as well, though I didn't ever get more than like a few.
We have some now, though, right?
We do, yeah.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
have sent them to us.
It's
So
very kind.
that's right. Robert Core, jokes aside, favorite symbiote and host? I don't know. I guess Venom, and probably Flash. He was great. Though I did like Eddie, like classic Eddie. You know, when he was like a crazy asshole.
Yeah.
That was kind of fun.
No, I definitely I like Venom, and I agree. I like Flash as well. But if it's just based on name alone, I like Phage. How did you know?
Because it's the dumbest name.
I love Phage.
I hope Phage makes a big comeback.
Come on, give us some Phage action.
Julia Brown says, "Hey, Comic Pop, love what you're doing here. All I can say is Jonathan Hickman has now 2 times brought me back into reading Marvel comics and comics just in general. He has that effect.
Yeah.
And Mr. Supertastic, and always fun to see Ethan react to comics physics. Tiff being surprised by magic lore in the last back issues was very nice.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, Darkhold.
Did not see that coming.
I know. No, Hickman brings you back. Speaking of Hickman.
Yeah, let's do it.
Good call. Let's talk about House of X.
There it is.
Number 2. People are wondering, is Powers of X... You know, like, I know that like it's 2 series in one. You know, Powers of X 2 felt very different, but like, you know, had a very similar art style, and you know, like what's are they going to be as gonna? Yeah, this is a direct sequel to Powers of X.
Yes.
And before we get into the book, I just have to have a quick PSA to our comic book industry people. Don't collect these separately.
Yeah, don't do that.
This whole series has to be one trade. It can't be House of X in one trade, Powers of X in another. You can't separate these trades. It will be impossible to read. It'll be stupid and impenetrable. You will make it very frustrating for everybody. Don't do that. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah, House of X. Number 2.
Yeah.
It's here.
Here we go.
And yeah, we get a complete and utter massive retcon of a major beloved character. This issue, by the way, of course, was written by Jonathan Hickman with art by Pepe Larraz.
Yeah.
The entire issue is an alternate timeline story, which of course it has to be because it's Hickman. But this time it's about Moira, as you know her, McTaggart.
Yeah.
I remember I said in Powers of X, I'm like, I think that's Moira McTaggart. It was.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I was like, it didn't say it though.
I thought it did.
No.
I don't know why I was so certain.
You were so certain that those words were in there, and I was like, but they're not.
Yeah, but they're not. But,
like, I agree. Like, she's a sassy young lady wearing green. I associate that with Moira, I guess.
Yeah. but I gotta say, so this is just Butterfly Effect. You know that great movie with Ashton Kutcher?
I never saw it.
Man, you missed out. It's actually not horrible. Butterfly Effect 2, of course, is hot garbage. Butterfly Effect 1 is, like, surprisingly decent.
Okay.
In any event, you know, Moira McTaggart's mutant ability, spoiler, she's mutant, is that she can go back in time. Like, once she dies, she goes back.
Yeah, she reboots.
She reboots. She reboots. And with all the collected memories and experiences of her previous life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big retcon and a big change and a big holy crap moment for everybody. We get a glimpse at who she was, who she is, who she could be, who she's been.
Yeah.
We get a handy-dandy timeline at the end of the issue to tell us exactly where she's been.
Yeah.
A lot of people were like, it's funny because I was like, okay, well, this has far-reaching effects on this, and the other thing, and like, what timeline are we in? Are we in life number 10? Are we in life number 11? Like, is the Marvel Universe in number 10 or number 11? What's going on?
Yeah.
Everybody's like focused on life number 6.
Yeah.
It's like, well, where is she? What's going on? I'm like, well, who cares? It's over. She died.
No, that matters.
But apparently it really matters.
Yeah, I have notes. That was one of my notes.
Well,
what happened to her 6th life?
What the hell? Why is everyone so interested in life number 6?
Because they literally
because they didn't put it in.
Yeah, because they go through every single version of it. Something happened.
Yeah.
Maybe. No, never mind.
No, go ahead.
I was like, maybe that's during Secret Wars, but no.
That'd be funny. Yeah, I mean, like, Bendis did that when he House of M rebooted everybody, and he's like, oh yeah, no, Secret Invasion still, they're still Skrulls, but like they got rebooted.
Do we want to just talk about this timeline right now?
Okay, yeah, let's talk about timeline number 6.
Okay, well, no, just in general. I have questions about that, or do you want to go over the book first?
All right, let's talk about the book.
Sure,
House of X.
You go first.
It's just we see Moira's choices and like where she goes with it. The first life, she lived a life. She died in her 70s. By the way, like I was surprised by how young she died. You know, they were like, she died at the ripe old age of 75. And I'm like, that's not really that
I think she had a heart attack.
Yeah, in her sleep. But, like, she died peacefully in her sleep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, heart attacks are not peaceful. And anyway. But, like, yeah.
Well, they weren't there when it happened.
Nice, that's true. But she has, like, all these kids. It's like you'd expect her to die at, like, 90 or something. But, like, it has to be the 74 because otherwise, I don't know. But the point is, she lived a life. She was happy. She has these kids. She has these grandkids. Everyone came together. And then the second life, she's, like, she retains everything, but she's kind of confused about it. She meets her husband again. She tries to make it work, but she can't because she can't get past all the problems, all of his like faults. And so this time she's miserable and alone.
Right, which by the way I think is very like that. Like set of panels is like it's character building and it's also like an interesting exploration of that idea of like reliving your life, but it's also making sure you 100% know she's reliving this life.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Not like she's coming back and it's a different mom and she's a different person each time and like timeline's just going on. Nope, we're just going back.
Yeah, I love the line and it like completely set the tone for me where she's talking to Xavier from the conversation from Powers of 10, in which she's like, you'd think that like being trapped in your mother's womb for like 7 or 8 months would make you go insane, but it didn't. And I'm like, no, it did. Like, no, you're insane.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't know. It could also just be like, they're like, we need to address this before someone asks.
Yeah, no, I think he did. And I think it's like, no, you really are crazy. Like, because you keep doing it. Like, you're trapped here. We actually talk about it in an episode of Back Issues. We talk about how, like, the Emperor wants to get Leia's baby.
That's right.
And then he's like, it's a waking nightmare. But, anyway, Dark Empire, check it out. But, like, yeah, no, I think that she is insane.
Okay.
And I think that, like, that also accounts for why she acts like she was never a mutant, why she, like, was considering killing her son in another previous X-Men story that Hickman does not make any effort to address. Like, it's a perfect retcon in that, like, we get it, but it's also, like, a fun little, like, oh my god, I think Moira's completely out of her goddamn mind.
Okay.
But anyway... That was that was my note. It was just like, I think she's crazy.
Right.
But so she's like, okay, well, my life is over. I'll never have that life. And those children will never exist, those people that I had.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll just like go to school and study hard. And then she meets Xavier and she's like, what a windbag. And then he announces that he's a mutant in the press conference. And she's like, wow, that's stupid. You're like a hypocrite and mutations are bad. So then next life, she's like, screw him, invents the mutant cure. And she bumps into the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Of course, she bumps into that. I mean that like her lab and all of her assistants and everyone are annihilated by Mystique and Destiny. And Destiny gives her the whole rundown of like what you need to know for this book, which is like, you only get 10, maybe 11. You know, don't do this anymore. I'll hunt you down. I'll stop you. Don't pursue this line of thinking anymore.
Is, it's like, if you try to make the mutant cure again, I will know and I will find you. If you try to come for me, I will like feel that ripple and I will stop you.
Yes, and
like,
I think
so we're just stuck.
Is this where they establish like, I'll kill you before you reach maturity, like before you mutate?
No, I think she yes, but like not like she says that she'll do that. She's like, how could that be? Like, how could I only have that many? And she's like, well, if you die before
Yeah, that's right.
you reach the age where you be a mutant at the 13, which is what we see at the beginning of this, then that's it. You don't come back.
Right.
Which is funny because when you were talking to me about this, I was like, oh, maybe she will reinvent the mutant cure, but because they make sure to put that in here.
Yeah, so probably.
But or she'll just be a kid and someone will smother her in her sleep.
Yeah, my guess is she
or
did.
Push her down a well.
Every line, well, yeah, and then cover it over.
Yeah, and then there'll be a videotape, and the X-Men, I got to deal with that.
Yeah.
And then it'll be X days.
You will die in X days. Is that 10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't figure it out.
By the way, mutant cure, another thing. Like, Hickman doesn't put these things in here for fun or for like, wow, that was cool. He puts them in there because he like wants you to know about them. And so like mutant cure. Moira McTaggart knows the cure for mutation in her friggin' head. She knows that she can make it right like any time.
Yep.
Probably did.
Which like literally looks like it's sitting there in that other panel, like in the next life.
It probably is.
Like she made it and didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Just in case they come for me again.
Yeah, she probably probably did.
I'll just throw it on them.
She probably makes it every time. But in this case, then another time she bangs Xavier. They form the X-Men. Things happen pretty much how you remember them. The O5 is formed, the giant-size X-Men, the Phoenix 5, Days Future Past or whatever, and then everything ends. Then she's like, screw it, I'll tell Xavier way early. They get a jump on the Mutopia. They isolate themselves like they're Atalan, and they're annihilated by Sentinels, and they're like, screw that. Okay, so then she spends another lifetime just assassinating key people who will invent Sentinels.
Just the Trask family.
Well, yeah, like, what? Just the Trasks? You think they're the only ones? Oh, anyway, so then, AI is inevitable. They make new Sentinels. They kill her. She dies. She goes, screw this. I'll just team up with Magneto.
Yeah.
So she hooks up with Magneto, and Magneto's like, I'll nuke America. All the heroes show up and stop him and her. Then the next time she's like...
She goes to prison.
Yeah, she goes to prison and dies.
Yeah.
And then she's like, okay, Magneto wasn't strong enough. I'll hook up with Apocalypse. She becomes a horseman of the Apocalypse.
Yep.
And then, they team up and then she dies. Because, Apocalypse will be stopped.
Right.
Then...
And that's her 8th life, right? Or is that her 9th life?
I think that's her 9th life because then we catch up to where we are now.
Right, so the 6th life is in between the...
Assassination plot, I think that was...
Is it? Is it the assassination one, or is it between, Yeah, I guess it... Nope, it's between... Yeah, it's assassination and the...
And the Mutopia.
And the Mutopia one. I'm like,
Yeah, what?
It's House of M.
Probably. So she's like, yeah, and I don't see how this is very different. It's like, she's like, okay, so I'm going to tell Xavier who I am again.
Yeah. Well, she says she's going to break all the rules.
Yeah. But didn't she break all the rules when she met with him the first time?
So, that is one of, the things in my notes is I'm like, break all the rules.
Right.
In what way?
I mean,
there's so many ways you could break all the rules.
Yeah, there are only so many rules. It's a comic book. But that being said, I know I was thinking about this, she's had more lives, she's had more trial and error. Xavier couldn't know about the Apocalypse plot, the Magneto plot, the Sentinels, the Trasks. So I guess now he has more information to do the mutant thing, but if we're to believe that we're in timeline 10, that this conversation that she had at the fairgrounds with him already happened, and so everything has led up to now.
Okay.
But probably not. We're probably in timeline 11.
You think?
Yeah, because there is a timeline 11, and there's no way that,
Oh, I assume the timeline 11's gonna, be the PS on this, where, Moira comes back, and then someone, comes to, her farmhouse.
Right.
And kills her as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Could be.
Enough.
Enough. It works for me. But, the whole issue is just about... it's a dedication to the retcon of Moira.
Yeah. Okay, so other questions?
Yeah.
Does Life 9 not have a death because of the fact that it's Apocalypse and therefore, it's too far in the future?
Right?
Because there's no death.
Yeah.
So that's weird.
Probably means she's going to come back. Probably means she's in, timeline.
But she had to have died in order to come back.
Yeah.
But, we don't see it on the timeline. And again, I just don't know if they just didn't extend it far enough.
No, I think it's that we don't see it because it hasn't happened to us yet, and he doesn't want to spoil Powers of 10. I think she's going to show up, with the timeline with Rasputin 4 and all that crap.
Oh.
Apocalypse Moira is going to show up and be like, hey, and then eventually she'll die, and then it'll reboot, and then it'll be like, oh, that timeline was actually part of one of the many lives. Moira's the key to all this.
Right. There's also I noticed in the 10 timeline.
Yeah.
They say there's a schism between Moira, Xavier, and Magneto. Now they don't capitalize that, so it's just.
So it's not schism.
No, it's just a falling out.
Yeah.
But that happens before House of X.
Right.
So they have this falling out, and then, years later, after the genocide of Genosha, which, by the way, Hickman apparently said that he messed up those two. So year 49 is Moira fakes her death, and then year 50 is the Genoshan genocide.
Yeah.
So she fakes her death, and then there's the genocide, and then House of X.
Right.
So, that's just interesting. Is it the brotherly love of genocide that brings them back together?
Probably.
Also, I noticed that Proteus is brought up in this timeline.
Yeah.
So, very specifically,
right.
I don't know if that's just Hickman telling us where we are in terms of continuity, or if we're talking about the fact that it's Proteus is a fairly impressive mutant.
Well, and is also her son.
Well, yeah, I know, but she gives birth to him, but he is quite a bit of power.
Right.
Not over metal, which totally I was like, oh, maybe he's somehow involved with the Krakoan thing, which I guess he still could be.
Definitely.
But then you definitely see you see Wolverine. being happy and enjoying in the first House of X. So I'm like, maybe not. I
And
don't
well,
know.
pod people.
I know, it's I'm saying pod people.
Yeah.
But like, so I don't know if like Proteus is somehow involved with this, or they're just like creating things for us to look into.
Yeah.
So that we don't pay attention. Like literally, like
Right,
this
are
is,
these all-
This is the beautiful assistant that we're looking at over here.
Exactly. So when it's see that like we're switching bodies. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't know. I had this timeline. Like I really went through it a lot
Yeah, that's fair.
because I was like, all right, wait, what?
Well, I can't believe you've screwed up a friggin' year.
Apparently they had an issue in the first one as well. Like there was like the chemicals.
Yes.
Like there was like H and G were mixed up.
I can't believe they screwed that up.
But like he made a joke about that.
You know what that means, by the way? That's just more of like the same problem where it's like Marvel needs editors, good editors.
Right. No, I hear you. But I mean, like with this one, there's almost no way they would have been able to tell that because he is determining this timeline right now.
Right.
So an editor would have been not.
Well, the editor should know beginning, middle, and end what happens.
Yeah.
You don't pitch his book without telling. Oh, and you'll find out.
I'll let them slip up on a mix up of 1 year basically.
As long as they fix it in the reprint.
Which I think they did.
Because like if I'm supposed to find these clues. You're not doing this just because I'm a dumbass who likes to read like crazy
Right.
shit and then be surprised at the end with no, like, I'm not a Sherlock Holmes fan who wants to have like the rug pulled out from under me at the last second. I'm trying to piece this mystery together. You got theories and people and betting and conversations and debates. If I can't trust the book, you've screwed up.
Yeah. So,
But that being said, it's only like a couple of moments. And
no, but
they
it's
gotta
interesting
make
that he wanted to definitely say like that those two were reversed. I
Right.
don't know if that's just again like another like red herring that he's like, I'll fix this. but
Well,
I'm
they
not
need. I think. Well, you need the burden of proof to fix that is on you. So,
right, but like if it didn't matter at the end of the day,
Right.
they wouldn't necessarily bother to say anything about it unless the fact that she faked her death is important,
which it probably is.
right?
Yeah.
So like maybe that'll come up at some point. Mm-hmm. I was wondering. There was a brief moment where I was like, could Proteus be the fake Xavier? Since we don't see his face.
Could be. Yeah.
Since he has certain influence over individuals.
Exactly.
I don't know. I've been really digging this series, and like I'm afraid that once we start revealing like what's actually happening, that's where I'm afraid I'm going to lose interest.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes I'm more about the like mystery than like the actual like destination.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, I mean, it's been pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for the next Powers of 10 book to come out.
Yes, on August
14th. It's next week,
Yeah.
or it's this week.
Yeah, it's this week.
Wednesday.
It's this Wednesday.
Um.
It's cool.
Yeah, like I really enjoyed it.
I can't wait to get the key to the language so that we can actually read it.
We know a little bit,
Yeah, but not all of
but
it.
not all of it.
Yeah.
Not all of it.
Yeah. But House of X,
Yeah.
number 2. I was a little bit like kind of meh about Powers of 10 because I don't care about timelines and stuff. But like, if you give me a friggin' chart,
Yeah.
then all of a sudden I'm back on board. So that's pretty dope. But yeah, let us know in the comments. Like, what do you think's going on here? Like,
Yeah.
what timeline is the current Marvel universe in?
Right. But I love it like that. I mean, like that is an excellent question. I'm still like, what happened to 6?
Right. Yeah. You and everybody else, apparently. I'm just like, where are we, though?
I do want to write ourselves as well. I want to find our way in the current timeline, but like I also really want to know why they dropped 6.
Yeah.
And
No, I
like
agree.
it's just I also didn't realize that Hickman himself is a graphic designer.
Evidently, I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I learned something.
Yeah.
TIL.
Right?
Neat.
What was it? Jaleel Brown says, also just read Schism for the first time. 4 good issues just to devolve to grown men acting like children. It's how every big fight goes with adults. Gotta go work. I will catch the video on demand. See you later. Thank you very much, Jaleel.
Thank you.
And we'll see you at the repeat.
Yeah.
William Gaza says, even though it was one panel, Apocalypse fighting Nimrod was awesome. Agreed. Very cool. I like the use of Apocalypse. I also like the acknowledgement that like Apocalypse is not the key to everything, and that like
Right.
you can have one timeline where it's like it was Apocalypse, and then the rest of the time it doesn't friggin' matter.
Right.
I love that.
Also kind of cool because it's like using Nimrod as a visual echo to the Powers
to where
of
we
10
are,
book.
yeah. Exactly. Saud Al-Thani helping us out again,
Holy
dude. Thank
shit.
you so much for.
I mean, holy crap.
Yeah, no. Let me say these words on this show.
Okay.
But thank you so much, dude. House of X, Powers of 10 will come in a box. They already announced they will collect them both in a trade.
Good.
Okay, so there you go. You get probably both trades. I still think that's a horrible idea. Like, Powers of 10 should not be in one book. It should be like one
No,
after
it
the
says
other.
both in a trade.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Both in one trade.
Yeah.
It would be a long trade, but I'm down.
It'd be kind of cool if they also separated out, though. I mean, like put them in the book, but
But, like-
like separated out the supplemental stuff.
Yes.
As like it's like a little guide, a little compendium.
Yeah, no. The absolute edition or whatever edition you're gonna see, like the oversized, that's gonna be friggin' amazing. It's gonna be full of friggin' drawings and charts and
I'm
stuff.
like so excited, and I think to myself because like I've not been like, let's be honest, I've not been following X-Men, and I just hope that X-Men fans are as excited.
Yeah, as the non-X-Men fans that jumped in,
as,
going
like,
this is
are
cool.
Like, hey, what's happening?
Right.
Like,
I heard X-Men's cool
I hear
again.
Hickman's here. You got any more of that Hickman?
Yeah.
So like, I just hope that like X-Men fans are as thrilled about whatever is happening right now. That what happens afterwards, of course, will remain to be seen as to how excited we'll all be at the status quo. But yeah, it's just cool.
And with that, Hickman, his influence is felt. So many writers are now forced to or voluntarily opting to do the Hickman. It's particularly people like Scott Snyder, who are like the monkey, the Hickman. But like where they are, they're like, okay, so decompressed storytelling, setting up lots of stuff, multiple volumes in a big epic volume. Like, I'll just keep doing that. But here's my point. Whether that's good or not, if anything that Hickman does can influence the status quo / like business practice of the big two, can knowing where the hell you're going and charts be part of it? I don't need access to the timeline's charts and influences, but you do. So like if you are, let's say, Marvel or DC, particularly DC, and you have like this expansive universe or interconnected characters that all kind of like flow together and influence each other and all go to the same, closure point that will never come, can you at least for like a year or two plan so that, things don't get interrupted or screwed up, or like, you don't like delay things, so you have like, you've stop gaps and plans in place. You could even have like a bracket where it's like, needless event if like artist X doesn't like perform. Just put a plan.
Yeah.
And Hickman, because that's part of the reason why I think so many of us are so excited. Because like with the McTaggart shit and with the Powers of 10, like it's all gonna go someplace and it leads places, and that like the writer has a plan. Mm-hmm. Let's go in that direction. Let's keep doing that.
Right.
But let's not limit it to one cool book. Let's open it up and apply it to the industry and be like, because technically Marvel and DC are part of an interconnected universe where all the stories are part of one narrative. Do that. Do that for all of it. How long did it take Hickman to plan up X-Men? I don't know. But I'm sure if you had like 20 of the most influential people at either publisher working together to come up with this timeline, you'd probably do okay, and you could probably do it halfway through, or half the time. So, please do that. Because I heard a rumor, I read somewhere recently, like, DC was saying, like, we're going to start, like, planning. And I'm like, you're going to start now? Oh, good for you. How about you do that, like, 10 years ago?
Right.
So, anyway.
That's it. Real quick, I saw something up there that's interesting. Interpretation on these, like, timelines. Because they were calling it a timeline. So, like, we need to keep that in mind. But what if it isn't, like, a timeline? What if it is alternate timelines, like alternate universes?
Yeah.
Like she's not going back in time.
Yeah, she's created them. She's traveling back in time.
She's splintering off, and like we did this, and then she goes to another one. It's like Back to the Future, I guess.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Well, or it's like she goes back to the original point, but then like she creates these tangents from the one point.
Yeah, it's skewed off
into an alternate tangent. Yeah, I think that's exactly what's happening.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's not that she's going back and overwriting it, because that's not how Marvel time travel works.
No.
Unless Hickman wants to change it, in which case there's no editor to stop him. Right. So, like, whatever. But yeah.
Maybe they'll pull all the Moiras in at one point.
I mean, I have no doubt you're going to see, like, well, here's the thing.
They'll fight.
Hickman already did a Council of Reeds. There's no question it's going to be a Council of Moiras.
But most of them are dead.
Yeah, most of them. Well, they all have to die. But, like, what if they meet at some point, like, on the psychic plane? Like, Xavier puts them all together. Pricey 8040.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
No, go.
Pricey 8040 says, missed the notification, came back just in time to hear the talk about the understandable Morrison, Jonathan Hickman. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Grant Morrison. Mr. Supertastic, I love House of X, but wonder if it's because I don't know X-Men, the same way I can enjoy issues of Batman when I don't know the characters much. Perhaps. One of the added bonuses of this series so far is that, like, you haven't seen any characters you know. Like, there's no... Like, Wolverine's not really in it. He's appeared in 2 pages in 2 different series. and he hasn't said or done anything, besides like.
And we don't know.
And they're alternate reality versions of each other, so it's like
Well,
like Magneto says things you expect Magneto to say. Mystique says stuff you'd expect Mystique to say. Like that's the kind of stuff you are seeing right now, but you're not seeing like the dynamics of the X-Men. You're seeing like this crazy puppet shit. So,
right.
So I think that also helps because you have like footing and you have like you have a common ground to start from.
Right.
So, Cash Money in the Bank. Hickman is blowing my mind. Lots of talk about how a big retcon this might be for X-Men, but this seems like it would be massively, like it would massively impact the rest of the 616. No? Will other writers ignore this, or could Moira Flashpoint Marvel? Yes, it should, unless the theory that like she creates alternate tangents and like the one that she made last is the one we're all in. Yeah. Marvel will ignore it because Marvel does that. And could Moira Flashpoint the universe? Yeah, totally. She will not, though.
Then there's a question, though, of like, since Hickman did do Secret Wars, and
right.
he did give
Marvel the opportunity.
Well, I was also saying he gave the power to Franklin and Reed to be the creators of universes, essentially. Yeah. How does that, especially since they made sure to mention Franklin in House of X, like how will that potentially impact Moira's abilities?
Yeah.
And where does that fall in?
Right.
Like, I would like to think he's going to address it, but I also don't want to hang my hat on that.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, like, he will address it in some way, shape, or form.
Right, but
it's just
like,
a question of whether it'll be important or
you
not.
You literally have a being who created worlds and other cosmic places.
Yeah, but he ran out of power, so, Supertastic says Moira met every important figure of X-Men and bonded with them. I say Life 6 is meeting Krakoa and knowing its secrets.
That could be.
There you go.
Yeah.
King's Portugal in the 90s Executioner song was awesome. I have them. Cool.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Mr. Roboto, why does Moira give the cure to Xavier so mutants who have powers... Yeah, I assume it's what he wrote, but like... So mutants who have powers, whose powers are beneficial or super dangerous can be cured or disabled. Probably did that. I mean, like we said, she probably creates the cure every time, or like I said it, but
yeah.
But yeah, why doesn't she do that? Well, we don't have enough pages, and she didn't. It's not relevant to the plot, so that's why it didn't happen. But like, hopefully, it'll be addressed because I'm sure the mutant cure is important. Mr. Supertastic doesn't happen often that I finish reading and feel completely satisfied, even if it is a mess up later. I will remember House of X2 as a great single issue.
Yeah.
It was a dope issue. It
really
saved the series for me.
Really?
Yeah, because it had Powers of 10. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Oh, I was so into
House of X. I'm like, this is awesome. Powers of 10. I couldn't care less.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I was like, okay, we're setting shit up. I'm excited.
Silver Cricket. The only timeline without a mutant genocide is her first life. Yeah. Well, for her.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
Yeah, because it explores
Xavier still does his thing.
Yeah, because it only explores it through her eyes, and so we don't see the world that happens around that.
Yeah, as far as Moira, whatever her last name was at that point, is concerned, that's all mutant shit. I don't care.
Right. I mean, like, that would be interesting, or like, if it doesn't happen.
Yeah, as long as Moira doesn't get involved. Yeah.
Everything works out.
And that's why I'm like thinking, I wonder if there's going to be like Butterfly Effect, but spoilers for a 30-year-old movie practically, but like at the end he realizes that like every time he tries to like change the past, he fucks up. So like at the end, the only influence that he does know, like if he fucks up the girl he loves can never be happy if he keeps getting involved. So he goes back to when he was an infant and strangles himself with the umbilical cord.
Oh.
And his mother goes, not again. And you're like, what? That like she keeps having time babies and like the time babies keep killing themselves. It's a pretty...
Then you need to be responsible and stop having babies.
Well, she doesn't know they're time babies. It's pretty dope. Yeah, despite Ashton Kutcher. Mr. Roboto, I meant mutants whose power is not beneficial as it hurts them. Yeah, well, Rogue would definitely take advantage of that.
Yeah, right? Maybe.
Isn't Carnage beyond Spider-Man as he's part of magic? No, because like Spider-Man fought Judas Traveler and Thanos, and he's met the Living Tribunal. So like Spider-Man is as much magic and cosmic as anybody else.
Like,
he's also like he has an interdimensional wristwatch. So like
right, but he's also like had his like own tanglings with spider gods and
exactly.
other such things and
yeah.
Morlunds.
Yeah, I mean I like the fact that like they actually tied Spider-Man and Carnage together as opposed to being like, oh no, Carnage is a Marvel character now. Like when they made Norman Osborn like a main problem for Hawkeye. I'm like, get the crap out of here, Clint. You don't know anything about Norman Osborn. Saddlethani helping us out again. Dude, thank you very much for your incredible hospitality, or your incredible generosity. He said he spent about a year planning House of X, Powers of X, and the subsequent storylines for the next 2 years. So, like, yeah, he spent a year planning 2 years worth of stories. I think a group of smart people could probably whip up, like, the next year's worth of Marvel stories in, like, 6 months.
He might have really spent a year planning, like, 3 years, because he planned
This
House
year.
of X and then 2 subsequent years.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Hopefully he'll stay there and do it, because I wouldn't trust Marvel to carry out my story at all.
No.
But, dude, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Naked Pooper, who very well could be Tim, says, just pooping in to say hi. No, he says popping in. Just popping in to say hi. Only a few more issues of Tom King's run left, thank God. Maybe then you guys can talk about Batman again. I'm looking forward to it. We did talk about Detective Comics, and Batman's in every DC book, so, you know, you're not any short of Batman. I did read Batman number 76, written by Tom King. I don't remember who the hell drew it. If you've ever wanted to hear the sound of 1,000 wheels spinning at once, read Batman 76. It's a total company man, like, you want Year of the Villain? Okay, I'll put my story on hold so you can do Year of the Villain. Here's a bullshit story.
Aw.
And who could care less about this book at this point? Vampirella is outselling Batman.
Well, I mean, she's Vampirella.
Vampirella hasn't outsold anything ever.
Well, I mean, like, I'm sure something big was going on.
No. Vampirella's outsold Batman. Immortal Hulk continues to outsell Batman. And there's something else I was like, wow, that outsold Batman? Holy crap. Anyway, so yeah, enjoy your bowel movement. Adam Asamoah, dude, it's been 2 weeks now and I'm still getting followers off the infomercial you guys did.
That did for you guys.
Oh, I'm still getting followers off the infomercial that I did for you guys?
Yeah, remember?
Yeah, that's right. Thank you very thank you very much for that infomercial, by the way. If you haven't watched it, by the way, on Twitter, Adam Asamoah gave us a fine infomercial over on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah, I love
where he
it.
basically plugs the channel.
But I love it.
Yeah, thank you very much, man.
Doing the old, oh, hello there.
Oh, hello there.
I didn't
yeah.
see you there.
Exactly. Well, we saw you there, and we appreciate it.
Yeah.
No, Batman is just a big pile of crap. Black Cat, thank you. Black Cat outsold Batman.
Crap, I was going to buy Black Cat and read it.
Yeah, issue 2 is coming out soon.
No, it's 3, because she stole.
Oh my God.
She's stealing from the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Yeah. I thought you said she stole issue 2, so it's just going to start with 3.
She stole issue 2. It's a really meta.
That's almost a fun idea if it wasn't like a Spawn tried to do that.
Damn
one
it!
time.
I forgot I was gonna grab that and check it out.
Well, you'll check it out for next time.
Yeah.
In any case, let's jump into some books that are coming out this week that we think you should buy. Amazing Spider-Man 27 from Spencer and Kev Walker. Ryan Otley is coming out. It's the all-female Sinister Syndicate fighting Spider-Man and, of course, Boomerang. Who cares? It's fun, I guess. If you like Spider-Man, you're going to buy it. If you're a completist for Spider-Man, don't feel guilty buying it. But if you're looking for, like, groundbreaking new stuff that, like, explains why Spider-Man feels weird, like milk that you know didn't expire, but you're like, it still smells funny. Is that just what milk smells like? What's happening? That's exactly what Amazing Spider-Man feels like right now. It feels like milk that doesn't expire for another 2 weeks, but when you smell it, you're like, what? But But I'm hungry now. Like, but I want the cereal. That's how it feels.
Okay.
It's just like, and I don't trust it.
As long as it's not Cheerios.
Right? Powers of 10-2 comes out of
Woo!
6. You know.
I'm excited.
As Xavier sows the seeds of the past, the X-Men's future blossoms into trouble for all mutantdom. That sounds about right for every X-Men book. But yeah, Powers of 10.
I love these, like, ridiculously, like, shallow, like, summaries that they're writing.
Yeah.
So you can't, like, glean much from it.
Right.
Smart.
The X-Men find a new foe that you'd never expect. What do you got, Tiffany?
Okay. I've got Unearth, number 2 from Image. Remember that Cullen Bunn book I was talking about where they're, like, underground? It's, like, Alien and, like, The Descent and all these other things.
Yeah.
Like, smashed together. It's a miniseries that he's doing over there.
Yeah.
So number 2 is coming out, so I'm going to be definitely picking that up.
Cool.
Also, on the Image side of things, White Trees is coming out. It's a 1 of 2 book by Chip Zdarsky. So
okay.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
It's Chip Zdarsky playing in a fantastical world of black sand. Of
course.
Chip Zdarsky's riding high, and I'm interested to see him back in the indie
Totally.
corner of things. So I'm gonna grab that.
Why not? Silver Surfer Black #3 comes out. It's crazy looking. Tradmore's art is unbelievable. This issue's cover is outrageous. Eventually he will be like this like universe looking black thing, and that's going to be neat. I don't know what it means, but Donny Cates and Tradmore are doing a great job. Check it out.
It's cool.
Symbiote Spider-Man #4 or 5 is coming out. Yeah, remember that book?
That's the second printing.
Oh, that's right. Damn. Well, in any case, check it out. It's fun. Peter David was writing Spider-Man back then, so he knows what's going on.
Nice.
It's a good book. It's like one of the best Spider-Man books on the shelf.
Excellent. Just to tell you that this is happening, Doctor Strange #17 is coming out.
Yes, that book still is coming out.
It's still coming out.
It's limping across the finish line.
2 more Conan books are being released this week. We'll see how long the Conan wave can roll along.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing, Marvel? People like Conan. Well, how about 12 more Conan series?
Well,
hey, people like Spider-Man. How about 16 Spider-Man books?
Yeah.
Thank God that Marvel doesn't own Batman. Because if you think you're getting too many Batman books...
Yeah.
Imagine if Marvel had Batman.
Now, one of the 2 Conan books is called Age of Conan Valeria, which is about a Conan a Conan character named Valeria. She was in the Howard, Howard
Robert E.
classic,
Howard,
books. So she's an established character. We're just going to talk about how she kind of came into being before meeting Conan.
Cool.
It's written by Meredith Finch, who wrote a series over at Image called Rose.
Yes. David Finch's wife as well.
Yeah. So I dug that, and so like I feel like she'll be at home writing a fantasy story about a badass chick.
Totally.
The other Conan book that's coming out, which I am very interested in a like what the hell kind of way, is Conan the Barbarian Exodus #1 by Assad Ribic.
Just straight up by him.
Yeah, shape or form. Writing to the art. I saw a preview of some of the art. Some of it looks really cool. And some of it doesn't.
And you know what's funny? Everyone loves Assad Ribic until
Yeah.
they see like a panel of a dude being surprised, and then they look hilarious. Like there's a lot of that in Secret Wars. Like now that we're far removed from it, and I'm not gonna tank the channel by saying it. Like there are a couple of panels in Secret Wars by Assad Ribic that are like, huh, what? People just go like, oh, like, and like yeah, maybe people make that face, but like,
well, I think
you shouldn't show it.
I think all like artists have their strengths and weaknesses, and
Yeah.
like I feel like some of the expressions may not be his, and that's fine. Like there's nothing wrong with that because he makes up for with his strengths.
Oh, he's unparalleled.
That Conan book will focus on Conan's first adventure, like a 15-year-old Conan going out there, leaving Chimeria or Cimeria, or however you want to say it.
Yeah.
And going to do this thing. It does not say one of anything.
No.
It just says one.
It could just be a one shot.
It could be a one shot, which
that'd be dope.
that would be good because I know it takes a long time for Ribic to do certain things. So
That's true.
Yeah.
That should be your indicator.
Yeah, so maybe it will be. Maybe he's just been working on this for a bit.
Yeah.
So, excited.
And Gwenpool Strikes Back, 5-issue miniseries is coming out.
Oh,
Gwenpool's
wow.
back.
Really?
Yep, Gwenpool's back, and it's going to be written by Leah Williams. The reason why I find that interesting is because Leah Williams wrote that What If book about magic you liked so much.
Oh, I did like that.
If you haven't already checked it out, one of the best Doctor Strange books in the last 5 years is What If Magic #1 from Leah Williams.
It was my favorite What If book.
Yeah.
Because Doctor Strange featured so heavily in
That
it.
issue beats out every issue written by Mark Waid for you.
Yeah.
So there you go. Jumping back into the super chats before we finally wrap up, I wanted to mention Pricey Eddie 40 says, "What if the life #6 is the Marvel continuity we've experienced for the past 60 years, and there's more?" I hope not.
That could be.
That could be the surprise.
I mean, like it would be perplexing because.
Well, it'll work if then she's made if the tangent timelines work and also that.
But okay, so like, hang on. So then my issue with that only is that like we've been reading about Age of Apocalypse.
Right.
So unless that is just an inevitable thing and Moira didn't experience it, and maybe that's what it is.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, time travel, man. It'll screw you up.
Yeah.
Every time.
Robert Radisson, 80,000 subs. Welcome, one and all.
Oh.
Population growth. Hashtag. Thank you very much, Robert.
Thank you.
We hit 80,000 subs the other day, and so thank you all so much for helping us out and keeping us alive. Cash Money in the Bank. One for the road. Appreciate you all. Thank you very much, Cash Money.
Thank you.
King's Portugal. Tiff, I have to know who makes those earrings you're wearing right now.
I got them from Forever 21.
There you go. You have a number of accoutrements from Forever 21.
Yeah, I like getting like these like little like plastic earrings from them because they're very affordable, but they make a statement.
Well, and they don't like hurt your ears. They're not gonna like make like
No,
these
they're
huge
light.
holes.
It's nice.
Yeah. Mr. Supertastic loved House of X, hated Powers of X, adored House of X 2. Hope it's smooth sailing from there, and I can enjoy both books equally. I hope so too. I was in the exact same boat. We'll see what happens. I'm sure Powers of 10 will be like the make or break thing for that series for me.
Right.
Jordan says, is it worth CGCing a comic book? You guys are the best. Well, thank you very much, man. So are you. CGCing, it is worth it if you want to sell a book. If you want to collect, there's nothing wrong with a bag and board in a low humid, light environment. CGCing is only done for if you are selling a comic book. I hate CGCing. I think it's damaging the industry. I think it's a horrible practice, and I think that they are like a blight on the comic book industry. But they are, and because they generated a thing so that they could be the only game in town. Like, you need to do this now. Now you got to do this. Like, if you want to sell a comic book and you want top dollar value, it has to be done by this secret panel of jackasses in Florida, and that sucks. And I hate it. And so, but if you need to do it, if you're like, I need, like, my kid's going to college and I need, like, I need $5,000 and I got my Detective Comics 27 and it's probably like going to be a graded 4. You got to get it CGC'd and you got to sell it that way. No one's going to buy like a comic off the rack from you without that bullshit, like, little invisible coffin anymore.
Especially if there's a signature involved. I think my biggest issue with them is I'm not a fan of the look.
Yeah, yeah.
I just don't care.
It used to be like a comic book. Oh, and it was like, oh, it's like got some damage, but like, look at that. Now it's like, here's a grade.
No,
this comic's a D-.
I just mean, like, I just don't like that top part of the aesthetic of that.
No, it's
I
horrible.
feel like they could up their game there. My biggest issue with them in general, and it's not even necessarily the CGC people, it's typically the middleman. They tend to have really bad attitudes. Like, I've been online listening to the way they treat fans, and like, I don't know, that like, and maybe it's not all of them, obviously. It's just that middleman group.
It's just every single time we've ever seen them in action.
No, which I don't see very often.
I've seen it a lot.
But that bothers me. Like, I feel like they're a customer. You know what I mean? Unless they've given you a hard time, and that's why, like, maybe you're having that interaction with them.
It's because, like, we're doing you a courtesy by allowing you to be this new element of this industry that you weren't really invited to.
Right. I mean, like, I do like the idea of them being protected, especially for a lot of people who have, like, key issues that it's like, I'm never going to actually physically open this and read it because I don't want anything to happen to it.
Right.
Like, I totally understand
I get that idea.
I just, again, like, it's just that attitude. Like,
yeah.
I'm only thinking recently we were at,
we were at East Coast Comic-Con,
and I was waiting online, and this woman was just really laying into these guys who just wanted to know what to do.
Right,
and
like, how do I do this?
Like, I get it. You've probably been working pretty hard, but, this is your job, and I feel like you should just, everyone has a hard day.
You signed up to do this.
Yeah.
Don't, like, resent your audience. You're the ones who came up with this idea. This is what you took
but
in.
Again, they are a middleman group a lot of times.
Yeah, which is also, like...
And so, like, I think that's, like... It's just unfortunate, and, like, I just feel like nobody should be treated like that.
No, I agree. Like, the fans shouldn't be treated like that. Creators should not be treated like that. I know that, like, that is grotesque. Because here's another practice which CGC is allowed to exist. Thank you, by the way, Adam Asamoah, 20,000 till 1,000. That's right.
To 100,000.
To 100,000, I should say. 20,000. That's the last hump before we can finally get a little button in a frame that
button
I can.
Time.
Yeah, but before it happens, YouTube will definitely change it so that, like, they're like, 100,000. That's not a lot. You don't get a button. We're not going to pay to make a button for you. But You go up to Denny O'Neil, who's like 100 years old, and you'd be like, hey man, I love your comic. Here's, like, would you mind signing this for me? But now you got people in this line who are like, hey, you're gonna die soon. Sign this book. Don't put my name on it. I'm gonna run immediately from this. I need to have a person who hates you and me and being there to stand over you and watch you sign this book. And then we will go together to a booth to authenticate the signature and then put it into that invisible coffin. And then, like, I'll sell it immediately, or I'll put it in my comic shop. Like, that sucks. Every aspect of that sucks.
I guess. I mean, like, I think everyone, like, what people want to do with their comics is up to them. You know what I
mean? Sure, it's their
like,
property. I hear that.
If that's like the extent of the relationship they have with them, that's fine. That's their decision.
Yeah, I agree. It's just that, like, but I'm going to criticize bad decisions like that.
Okay. But I'm just saying, like, if you're getting a signature to possibly sell it later on, that's on you, man.
Well,
like, I see nothing wrong with that.
You need to do that. Like, those are the steps you need to take if you... CGCing is for selling books.
Yeah.
And if that is your entire relationship with comics, then that is that is your road to hoe.
Yeah.
And I hear that, and I don't respect it, but I also understand that is the nature of the beast. And I don't judge you for that. I judge the entire process that makes this exist. This process sucks. This practice is crappy, and there's no better way to do it. So unfortunately, we're all here now. Thank you very much for watching this episode Off the Rack. We'll see you guys next time with another episode. Of course, don't forget to stick around for Harbor Patrol, which is our not D&D, but Mutants and Masterminds.
Our pen and
Paper RPG series. We also have back issues coming up. It's a doozy. And of course, if you want to support this channel in other ways besides the super chats, which of course many of you did, and generously, I might add.
Yes.
You can always go to patreon.com/ComicPOP and see what those rewards are like and see if they're right for you. And if they are, then join up and we'll see you guys there. Give you some background information about what's going on here, some updates, and some early access to videos. And if you're like, whoa, down by like in the Golden Age section, you get a little box from us. So check it out.
So, yeah, thanks guys for watching, and thank you to our super chatters.
Totally, thank you all so much.
For
and
helping us out a whole lot.
Yeah, and stay tuned for more. See you guys then. So long.
Bye,
Thanks for watching.
guys.
Bye-bye.